Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, Facebook, good evening, Instagram. Guess what time it is? It is time for Tuesday Night Live. Hey, hey, hey. I see you guys coming on in the room. Good to see you guys. How are you? How are you? Y'all doing okay? Good to see you guys. All right. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Instagram. See you guys coming on in. Hey. Hey, Miss Daphne. Good to see y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Great Tuesday evening. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello. Dr. May, how are you? Good to see all of you all. I was looking for my face. I see two people are in on Facebook. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm looking over here. When you see me looking to the right, that means I'm looking at my tablet so I can see the comments of you guys. Hello there. My dear Minty, good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome to Let's Talk Healing Tuesday Night Live. So glad to have you here. Hey, Sada, you know you have to tell me that every time on Instagram. You know I don't know all these Instagram handles. If it's not your name, I don't know who you are. So thank you, Sada, for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, Cheryl on Facebook. Hey, Arkita. Hey, Jackie. Good to see all of you all. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. If this is your first time being live with me on Facebook or Instagram, would you put a 1 in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat. Why do I want you to put a 1? Because I want to properly recognize you. I want to recognize you and thank you for spending time with me on Tuesday night. Hello, Dr. Brown. Good to see you. Good to see you, Dr. Brown. All right. For those of y'all on Facebook, I'm over here looking on my tablet trying to see your comments because I can't see your comments. I can't see your comments, but that's all right. Well, we got several first timers on Instagram. We got Dr. May. We've got B. Mays. For the very first time, I appreciate you. Welcome to Let's Talk Healing. I am here every Tuesday night, just providing some nuggets about grief. By the way, if you have a topic that you wish for me to address, go ahead and DM me. DM me and I will do my best to address that topic. I appreciate you. Those of you who are here again for the very first time, we're here every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you don't mind, if you haven't done so already, as you feel comfortable, I see you guys doing it on Facebook already. Would you tag somebody? Tag somebody, let them know we're on here. Why? Because grief is a subject. It is universal. Absolutely every one of us need to know about it because we're experiencing it in one way or another. Either we're the person that's going through grief or we know someone who is going through it and we're trying to help them. Now, those of you who didn't put a 1, that means that I should be seeing FF on the screen. Y'all already know what that means, right? What does the FF mean? That means that you are a frequent flyer. You are a frequent flyer. Would you put that on the screen for me? So for those of you who do not know who I am Dr. Tonya Cunningham. I am known as the Grief Doctor. I have been in the grief industry for 34 years. Can y'all believe that? I don't look 34, right? Y'all be able to say, no, you don't. I don't look 34. I've been in this industry and in this ministry for 34 years, and it has afforded me the opportunity to be able to accompany many people on their healing journey. Okay, and as an international speaker, as a master grief coach, as a grief counselor, I recognize that most people do not understand the impact of grief on their well-being. They just don't understand that. So as a person who is now thriving on the other side of this grief journey, because grief never ends. Did you know that? Grief never ends, okay? And because it never ends, we must learn how to live with the grief. We must learn how to live with the grief. So now I'm a person that's thriving on the other side of this journey. I am encouraged to help people do the same. I am passionate about helping other people do the same, especially people like me. People like me. What's like me? I am a middle-aged woman. Listen, as we get older, a lot of people think that life ends. Life is just beginning. Life is just beginning. I personally believe that life begins at 50. I do. I personally believe that life begins at 50. All right? So I see you guys still coming in on Instagram. If you don't mind, again, if you don't mind tagging somebody, or you can share the broadcast, whichever you feel comfortable, okay? So working with people in grief, what have I discovered? I discovered, again, that most people don't understand the impact of grief, and they really don't even know what it is. I just received a text from a person who is getting ready to be a new client, and they said, after reading my book, I just discovered I'm grieving. Absolutely. We grieve over things that we don't even understand that we are grieving over. Hello, my dear sister friend Sharon. Good to see you on. Okay? So most people really don't understand what grief is, and generally what we don't understand, what do? We're going to fight it. Right? We're going to fight it. Why? Because I don't understand how that works. Technology is a great example to use, right? I used to be that person that used to be afraid of computers. Years ago when computers first came out, I was afraid of computers. I didn't want to touch them because I thought if I touch something, it's going to blow up the computer. Why did I think that? I was fighting it. I was fighting it, moving to technology. Well, guess what? Here I am maneuvering on 2 or 3 devices. I had to learn about technology because this is the world that we live in. Okay, so a quick recap before I move into tonight's subject. For those of you who are here for the very first time, you're probably saying, what is this lady talking about? I'm talking about grief. So what is it? Again, grief is not about death only. It is about loss. Grief is not about death. Can you put that in the chat? Grief is not about death. It is about loss. And the pandemic taught us that oh so well. I am on Facebook. I am on Facebook sharing. I am on my Dr. Tonya Cunningham grief doc page. That's the page I'm on Facebook. So, grief, what is it? Grief is universal. It crosses all cultures. It crosses all backgrounds. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're rich, you're poor, you're black, you're white, whether you have faith or no faith at all. Guess what? Everybody is going through grief. For our first timers, what is grief? Those of you who have been here before, you should be able to recite this with me, right? Thank you for putting that, Donna. Thank you for putting that. Thank you, Jackie, for scribing. Thank you, guys. So, what is grief? It's an emotional, internal, chemical response to an external loss. Grief is what happens on the inside of you. Grief is what happens on the inside of you. Okay? There are chemicals. When we say it's a chemical response, there are chemicals that are released. The moment that grief hits your brain, there are chemicals that are released, such as cortisol, norepinephrine, adrenaline. All of those are released into your body. And that's what makes it a chemical response. Okay? And that's what causes our body to respond in a particular way. So it is a internal, emotional, chemical response. Mourning. What is mourning? Mourning is different than grieving. Most people don't know the difference. Mourning is what happens on the outside of you. Mourning is what happens on the outside of you. Thank you guys for tagging. Thank you for tagging and for sharing. Mourning is how we cope. Mourning is the external expression of the internal grief on the inside. Okay? So that's the difference between grieving and mourning. And again, I've mentioned to you guys, if you have a topic you want me to discuss, go ahead and DM me and we would definitely get that underway. So tonight, what we're talking about is a topic that's near and dear to me. We are near Mother's Day, right? So it's when Mother's Day hurts. That's the topic tonight. When Mother's Day hurts. Okay, holidays can be very, very difficult, right? Those of you who have been through grief, you already know some of the things that I'm about to say you have experienced already. The holiday season can be difficult. And when people think of the holidays, it's not just Christmas. It's not just Thanksgiving. Mother's Day, Father's Day, that person's birthday, especially when you're dealing with the death loss, those days can be difficult, especially if you're in the first 2 years of the death. If you are in the first 2 years of the death, those holidays, those special days can be very difficult for some, not all. Because the reality is when you experience a loss, especially a death loss, you are in shock. a great part of the first year. Anywhere up to 9 months within the first year of the loss, guess what? You're in shock. You feel numb. I get that a lot. People say, I don't know what to feel. I feel numb. Numbness is a feeling. Okay? So this is why the very first 2 years can be difficult, is because you're in shock a greater part of the first year. So when Mother's Day hurts, why does Mother's Day hurt for a lot of people? Number one is due to death. Can you put that in the chat? Death. This is where the mother died or your child died. And this is going to be our focus tonight. We're going to talk about death losses. The others I'm about to mention, I'm going to do a separate live for each of those because they deserve their own attention. But death loss can be difficult to experience Mother's Day when you have the death of your mother or the death of your child. Okay? What's another experience that can cause Mother's Day to be difficult? Incarceration. When your loved one is incarcerated, either your mother is incarcerated. I'm dealing with several young people right now where their mothers are incarcerated. And Mother's Day is approaching and they're having a difficult time. So incarceration where the mother is incarcerated or your child is incarcerated. You go through grief. Okay, so we've got death. Can you put death in the chat? Then put incarceration. That's another thing that can make Mother's Day difficult. Great evening, Sean. What's another thing that can make Mother's Day difficult? Empty nesting. Empty nesting. Those of you who are empty nesters, meaning your children are graduating, they're leaving home, they're going to college, they're leaving, that causes us to go through grief during the Mother's Day season as well. Thank you for scribing. Thank you all for putting that in there. So after incarceration, we have empty nesters, and then we have estrangement. Estrangement. Can you put that in the chat for me? Estrangement. That's when you and your mother have a strained relationship. Estrangement. It causes people to go through grief, especially during Mother's Day, because you and your mother are not close for whatever reason. It causes us to grieve. And then lastly, I want you to put infertility. You guys are amazing. Y'all are scribing for me. Thank you. Infertility. These are people who can't conceive. They have difficulty conceiving. And when Mother's Day comes, it hurts for some people. Okay? So we've got all of these ways that we want you to be aware of that can be difficult for some people. Infertility, estrangement, empty nesting, incarceration. So we want to talk about the death loss. But before we do that, would you put in the chat, those of you that are willing to share, this Mother's Day, have you experienced the death of your mother? If you have, would you put your mother's name? Put your mother's name in the chat. I want to honor her and the year that she died. If you had a child to die, if you're open to do that, put that in the chat as well. Want to honor your child and the year that they died. Okay, so put that in the chat. Somebody, would y'all put for me? I have both. My daughter, my one and only baby, died. Her name is Chelsea. Chelseaa. Would y'all put that in the chat for me? Because since I can't do it. Chelsea. Chelsea, 2004. My daughter, Chelsea. Chelsea died. Novia Walton, 2021. Okay. Chelsea, Shard, son, 2022. Thank you for putting it in there. Thank you for putting Chelsea in there for me. Imogene, 2022. Yeah. Verlene Jones, 2000. Zion, March 8th, 2022. So we've got lots of death. My son, Eric, 2017. Betty R., February 1st, 2018. We honor all of them. We honor all of them and their memory. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat. My mother died too. My mother died. Can y'all put her name in there? Her name is Marie. Marie died 2006. So Chelsea died 2007 and my mother 2006. So thank you for putting those names in the chat. Definitely wanted to honor all of those. So we're talking about when Mother's Day hurts, and we're focusing on death loss. We are focusing on death loss tonight. We're focusing on death loss. So the death of your child or your mother. So for Chelsea, let me just talk about Chelsea for a moment before I move into the tips that I want to give you to kind of help you through Mother's Day. When Chelsea died, that was 2004. I got married in 2003. She died 2004. Okay? For the first couple of Mother's Days, I didn't like going to church. Can anybody relate? Especially in the black church. What do? We acknowledge the mothers and we ask all the mothers to stand, right? Well, for the first 2 years after Chelsea died, I didn't stand. I see you guys putting your loved one. Kendrick died 2017. Your son, your mom, Dorothy, November 87. Yeah, I did not know. Hi, David. I did not know that I was a mother, so I didn't stand. So it was my own grief counselor. I went to grief counseling, and my grief counselor helped me understand you are still a mother. You are still a mother. Even though my baby died, she helped me understand you're still a mother. Why? Because you carried Chelsea in your womb and you gave birth to her. So after I went to grief counseling, third year rolled around when I was in church and they asked all the mothers to stand on Mother's Day. I stood. Because I finally understood I was a mother. Now, mother died 2006, shortly after Chelsea did, shortly after my daughter did. And I struggled with that because I struggled as being an adult without a mama. So a lot of people, no matter if you're adult or if you're a child, you experience some difficulty on Mother's Day. So let's talk briefly about that child death. Your mom and your son died 2018. Yes, acknowledging that. It hurts. So as best we can as human beings, we definitely try or we attempt to prepare ourselves for death as best we can. You know, some of us, we get life insurance on our loved ones. Some of us, we get pre-needs and things like that. But the reality is, as much as you do to try to prepare, no one can really prepare when a loved one dies. No one can really prepare when a loved one dies, especially the loss of a child. So every loss is definitely important, but they're also different. They're important and they are different. Okay? Why is the child's loss so difficult? It is because it's unimaginable. We can't imagine. We don't even think about that. Why? Because it goes against our universal law is that the parent is supposed to bury the child. The child is supposed to bury the parent, not the parent bury the child. Right? We grow up, we're going to grow older, the children are going to bury me. But what do you do? What do you do when you have to bury your child? It becomes difficult. So for many people, Mother's Day, it's full of flowers, it's full of brunches, it's full of gifts. Mother's Day is full of cards and hugs. For a lot of people, that's what they experience. But for some people, it's full of pain. It's a day of pain. Okay? So there are several factors that impacts a mother's grief when a child dies. How old they were. Okay? If they were younger. The younger they are, the more intense your grief journey is going to be. How the person died. And these are things that are going to be helpful for people who are walking with people who have experienced the death of a mother or a child. So hopefully you can better understand their journey. Okay? So how old the person is going to determine how they process through. If the child was young, it's going to be intense. How the person died, if they died in their sleep versus due to a tragedy, is going to impact the grief process. Okay? Or listen to this. If you're a parent and your child died and they die away from you, meaning not in your presence, what that does for the parent is that it opens the door to guilt. Jackie says on Facebook, it makes you feel empty. She said, my son was only 12 and took his own life because of bullying in school. Our condolences to you. That is so challenging. So bullying would fall under the mode of how he died. And that's tragic. That's tragic. It sure is. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with us. So we want to keep these things in mind when there's a child's death, especially on Mother's Day. It can be difficult for mothers to kind of process through. Mothers must heal first and foremost for themselves. When there's a child death, you got to heal for yourself. And guess what? You got to heal for your other children if you have any other children. We have to heal for yourself first and foremost. Then you have to heal so you can be present for your other children. So that's a child's death. So briefly, mother's death. If your mother died. So spending Mother's Day without your mom can be very hard. Especially the first 1 or 2 holidays. You feel lost. I think somebody put that on there. You feel lost. You don't know what to do. Mother's Day can bring up feelings of all kinds. You know, it can bring this yearning, desire. Yearning, self-healing. Yes, Charlene. Yes. So it can bring up all of these emotions. Yearning, loneliness, a sadness, anger. Just not knowing what to do with those emotions. Especially if your mother was your go-to person. And it's a death loss. Whether you're younger or whether you're older, you still miss your mom. A lot of times when we're older and our mother is older, when they die, a lot of times people make us feel like that we shouldn't grieve over them because they were older. Nay Baby says, my mother was my best friend. So you not only lost your mother, you lost your best friend too. Yep. Okay? So these are some things that you can do to jumpstart your healing on Mother's Day. Okay? These are some things you can do. First thing you want to put in the chat is give yourself permission to be. Say that. I must give myself permission to be. Whatever that is. If you're hurt, be hurt. If you're happy, be happy. A lot of people struggle with those emotions of being happy, laughing, experiencing joy because they feel guilty. I'm having fun when my loved one is deceased. Okay, so don't feel guilty because you experience joy. Give yourself permission to just be. Okay, give yourself permission to not be okay. Give yourself that permission. That's the first thing you want to do. Second thing you want to do, if guilt is present, let's address it. I feel guilty because I wasn't there when my loved one died. I'll never forget, I had one person come to me for marriage counseling. She said, I want a divorce. I'm leaving. And I'm like, well, because I believe in marriage. I say, well, is there anything, just let's talk about this. Let's talk through this. And she said, okay, but I don't want to, because my husband didn't want to come to counseling with me and I just want a divorce. Well, after an hour of speaking with this particular client, we finally got to the root of the matter. It wasn't a divorce that she was dealing with. It was the death of her mother, who died 5 years prior to our session. She didn't have any grief support, any grief counseling. And when we got to the root of the matter, we discovered that she was guilty because her mother died and she wasn't there when her mother died. Her mother died out of town. Her mother lived out of town. So her mother died out of town and she felt guilt. So we have to work through that guilt. Those of us who are counselors, Charlene is on here again. There's testing that we can do to help you know that guilt doesn't cause the person to die. Okay? But guilt is a common response that we feel, and we must be able to process it. You got to feel it. Cheryl says, I feel guilty because my mom had a stroke by herself. Okay? So thank you for sharing that, Cheryl. So all of these emotions are normal. We must express them so that we can process them. Okay? So what can you do during Mother's Day to kind of help you when you hurt? Number one, give yourself permission to just be. Number two, if guilt is present, you want to experience it so that you can process it. Number three, self-care. Charlene has already said that, I believe. Self-care. You want self-care. All right? Now, these are the days or the holidays when a lot of people give you gift cards, for spa days and things like that. Spa days are not just for special occasions. Spa day is for every day. So you want to do self-care, whatever that looks like. Number four, you want to plan. You want to plan for that day because it's not just another day. Right? It's not just another day. So you want to plan to do something or plan not to do anything. You could just be low key. But you want to have a plan. Okay? You want to figure out what's going on. You want to figure out who am I going to hang out with on that day. That makes a difference. Who you're with on those special days. Because everybody, again, unfortunately don't know how to support people in grief. My internet is sketchy tonight. So hopefully y'all are getting this information. I see you guys scribing, so I think you are. So what do you want to do to jumpstart your healing on Mother's Day? Next thing and last thing is spend time with other people. Spend time with other people. I just shared that it matters who you are with on those special days. Because some people can stress you out. That's right, Sean. Figure out who you can hang out with on that day. It matters. Because some people stress you out. I can think of certain people, just thinking of their name, it just causes me to start twitching like, ooh, they stress me. Ooh, they just stress me. They make me itch. You don't want to be with those people on those special days. Quick recap. What can you do to help yourself when Mother's Day hurts? Number one, give yourself permission to be. Number two, address your guilt if there is any present. Address your guilt if there's any present. Number three, get self-care. Self-care. Do something to take care of yourself. Number four, you want to plan. Plan to do something or plan not to do. Just plan to be low-key. Okay, I'm not cooking this Mother's Day. I'm not going to a restaurant on this Mother's Day. Just let your family know what you are going to do and what you're not going to do, and then spend time. Spend time with other people because you don't want to isolate yourself. Grief will cause you to isolate yourself. And even if you're in a room full of people, it can still feel isolating. All right? So that's it for the night. That's it for the night. I do want to make an announcement, though. This Friday, put that on your calendar at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am going to do an interview with a mother whose son died. Her name is Mrs. Courtney Richardson. Mrs. Courtney Richardson. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Daphne. Good to see y'all on Facebook. Hey, Cheryl. So I'm going to be doing this interview with Mrs. Courtney Richardson this Friday, May 12th. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to talk about, Mother's Day edition, Let's Talk Healing, what this experience has been like for her. She is a woman of faith. So you guys want to definitely log in to hear what she has to say, how grief definitely impacted her, how doing her grief work has made the difference and caused her to be able to heal and be able to move forward with her grief. All right? So if you're out there and you are going through grief, guess what? I can help you get your happy back. I can absolutely do that. I can help you get your happy back after loss. I offer a free consultation. 15 minutes, and I do mean 15 minutes. 15 minutes. If you've ever had a consultation with me, put it in the chat. She means 15 minutes. She means 15 minutes. Yes, 15 minutes. And I can kind of dialogue with you to see if you and I will make a good team. If not, I can connect you with whoever you need to be with. All right. The whole goal is I want us to talk about healing. And I want us to move forward. All right. So you can go to my website, drtonyacunningham.com, and you can book that discovery session. 15 minutes, Sean. That's right. Y'all putting it in the chat. 15 minutes. All right. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. She means 15 minutes, but it's worth it. Thanks, Charlene. Thanks, my mentee, Charlene. Yes. All right. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for tagging other people. Thank you so much for sharing. If you haven't done so already, would you share the broadcast? Again, tag people, especially those who are experiencing difficulty if they had the death of a child or the death of their mother. Hopefully this will help them through their Mother's Day. All right. If you have any topic that you want me to discuss, go ahead and DM me and we will get it done. Last week, if you didn't watch last week, I want y'all to go back and watch last week's video. We talked about the impact of grief on your gut. We talked about your microbiome, right? And the importance of that and how your gut health impacts your mental health, which impacts your grief. Ooh, that's some good stuff. I'm gonna log off on that. I'm not gonna be preaching like I did last week. I love y'all. Blessings to you all. Y'all have a good evening, and we'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye. All right, see y'all Instagram.